Pete Crow-Armstrong stole the show Tuesday night at Wrigley Field as the Cubs beat the Brewers 5-3 in the opener of a 3-game set. I'm Andy Martínez, and we're going to break down a memorable night at the friendly confines on the Cubs Daily Podcast. Pete Crow-Armstrong is having a breakout campaign in 2025. That's a no-doubter. He leads the team in wins above replacement, plays elite defense, and is breaking out at the plate this season. He leads NL outfielders in All-Star voting and looks poised to represent the Cubs in Atlanta next month. He did say before the game that he doesn't want to appear in the Home Run Derby because that's, quote, a different kind of power. Crow-Armstrong says that he doesn't have the BP power to blast home runs in the timed format of the Derby, and that's why he's going to skip out on the event. Either way, he's having an outstanding 2025 campaign, but man, Tuesday was one of those special nights at the ballpark for Crow-Armstrong. I want to walk you through that memorable 8th inning from my vantage point up in the press box behind home plate. It was an unreal sequence of a few minutes, but I want to walk you through it from my point of view because I'm sure some of it can't be properly captured through the TV screens. If you didn't watch the game, let me paint the scene a little bit. Lefty Caleb Thielbar is on the mound, there's one out, and Bryce Terang is up to bat. The Brewers' second baseman hit a 90.1 mile per hour liner to left field that, off the bat, I thought it was destined for a hit. As PCA galloped from center field, I thought, he might make this close. As he got closer, I immediately thought, no shot. Then when he leaped and caught it, I thought surely it had to have bounced and he had to have trapped it. There's just no way he caught that. The crowd went crazy, and I immediately looked towards the Brewers dugout to see if they were going to challenge because surely there's no way PCA caught that right. But there was no challenge, and he had caught that inches before it clipped the grass blades in the outfield. I think one of the most fun things about the press box seating at Wrigley Field is watching Pete Crow-Armstrong patrol center. That play in the 8th inning was a prime example of that. You could see just how much ground he covered and how incredible of a play that was. If he wins the NL Gold Glove Award in center field at the end of the year, that catch will be in all of the highlight reels. It was just that good. Then the 38,687 fans at Wrigley Field broke out into PCA chants. PCA, PCA. They've happened before this season at Wrigley Field, but these were really loud, like really, really loud. As the inning wrapped up, I thought, that's a PCA moment. You know, like one of those games where you think back on at the end of the year or at the All-Star break as one of his games. It's not the Sandberg game per se, but, still a big moment. Of course, as the baseball gods would have it, he was leading off the bottom of the 8th, and when he trotted up to bat, I just had a hunch. So I pulled out Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and began to type out a post. Here's what I was writing. PCA's made an unreal catch, and he just followed it up. And then before I could finish that sentence, he was in his follow-through on his 452-foot blast off the right field scoreboard. It was a mammoth blast, his hardest hit ball of his career and the farthest home run of his career, and it was just a movie script moment. Here's this former top 100 prospect who's burgeoning into a star before Cubs fans' eyes, and in the span of a few minutes, he showcases the two things that make him so great: his elite defense and his emerging prowess at the plate. This is a special season from PCA, and he tried to downplay it before the game, saying it's only been X number of games, but seriously, the story of this season is quickly becoming PCA, and that's incredible, just given that this is a team that traded for a top 5 hitter in Kyle Tucker and has another elite bat in Seiya Suzuki in their lineup. It's seriously a special season that Pete Crow-Armstrong is having. Here's what Craig Counsell, Ben Brown, and PCA himself had to say about Tuesday night.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we come to the ballpark. To see things like that, to see great players do great things, great players do amazing things. Pretty cool. Well, it's just it's the ball, where the ball is, and how he's got to dive for the ball and keep his glove in a good spot to catch the ball. That's the ball this year that's felt like he's been. The ball kind of going back the other way and then the ball going into the left center gap. It's kind of the two balls that he's made the great plays on, it feels like. But he's getting just incredible jumps, and his burst is so good. And then when he gets his, I think we're underestimating, just completing the play with the catch in a really, with the ball nearly on the ground. He's got to dive and keep his glove in a good position. Just really impressive. Yeah, I mean I think that's the farthest home run this year at Wrigley. It feels like. So I think he got an slider out over the plate and didn't miss it. Yeah, I think we're we're seeing a center fielder he's playing at as high a level as I've seen a center fielder play. Now we're 70 games in or whatever, but how he's playing it, it's as good as I've seen. And I think all the pitchers that have been around for a while, like Caleb Thielbauer, would, and he's had some pretty good center fielders behind him as well, would tell you that it's the kind of, like I said, the left center gap and the right center gap going back. It's just been really impressive.
Yeah, Pete plays like weird kind of. He plays every single day, obviously, and every game he plays is like 2 games for a normal person. Just with how hard he plays. So at the end of the year, when Pete plays 158 games or whatever he's on track for, Lord willing, he might as well would have played 300 and whatever the double that is. So that's he just plays so hard, and it's so fun to watch. And it doesn't matter what's going on offensively. I mean, obviously he's had a heck of a year, but even he'll play so hard no matter what, and as a team, we're just incredibly blessed to have him out in center field. And I mean, not to mention the other Gold Glovers we have. It's like it's a pretty awesome defensive team, and I'm just really grateful to be a part of it.
Does some good work for the soul. I mean, it's a grindy season that we play, and those are like the little wins, where. I mean, you guys were asking me earlier about like what it means to have a ton of people supporting and literally voting for you. Like that's the best right there. Like tonight, it's so personable and just feels super real and cool. So, I mean, yeah, the fans that come to Wrigley Field are best fans in baseball. I mean, like getting to high five guys in the dugout and getting to celebrate everybody else's successes. When the goal is to go out and win baseball games, and like I've said a lot this year, you have everybody playing a part. I think that probably brings me the most joy, just because you get to share everything with everybody else. Their wins are my wins and vice versa. So probably that. My goal every day is to slow down a little bit more. That's my ode to Willie Harris. Like, Willie was so persistent in telling me that every day. And yeah, I think those moments are the ones that I really need to slow down in. And those are important to appreciate. So that was my first time really getting those kind of chants. And yeah, definitely tried soaking it in, but that was very, very cool. I'm still kind of new to the ovations and whatnot. I don't quite know how to respond all the time. I want to give them their time to do their thing, and I also I want to give Taylor the time after the game as well. So yeah, sure. So yeah, I mean, again, getting used to it, it's becoming one of the cooler things for sure. Yeah.
I do want to quickly talk about another element from Tuesday's win. Ben Brown was really sharp after allowing 6 runs in his last outing against the Phillies. On Tuesday, he pitched 5 innings and allowed a pair of runs on a 2-run blast from Isaac Collins in the second inning. Brown has been so up and down this year. A lot of that stems from the first inning woes that we've talked about on this podcast, that I've written about on MarqueeSportsNetwork.com. He's just really struggled in that first frame, and the Cubs don't need Brown to be the guy that no-hit the Brewers through 7 innings last year. I mean, they'll take that, of course, but with all the injuries that this rotation has suffered, to Shota Imanaga, to Justin Steele, it's been grueling with what they've had to deal with in the injury front. They just can't afford to have a starter who's giving up big first innings and forcing their offense to play catch-up from the start. Brown figures to make at least one more start in the rotation, but after that, the Cubs face a serious question. What do they do with Brown when Shota Imanaga is healthy? Brown has minor league options and is the weakest performer of the rotation so far, so it seemed that he'd be likely to go down when Shota's healthy. Brown knows the situation and spoke on it after the game, saying he'll, quote, keep putting in the work to be a part of this team in the future, and whatever that decision is, it is what it is. Of course, if Braun starts performing like he has in this past outing on Tuesday or the outing against the Reds at Wrigley Field a couple weeks ago, the Cubs face a good problem, right? They want to have problems like that in their rotation. But of course, Braun will have to string together some more outings like he has in those 2 outings before you can really start to have that conversation. As for Imanaga, he makes a rehab appearance with Iowa on Friday, and the Cubs could bring him back into the rotation next week after that outing if all goes well and they like what they see from his stuff. The Cubs continue their 3-game set with the Brewers on Wednesday night at Wrigley Field, and it's a fun pitchers duel. Jameson Taillon will go against Brewers top prospect Jacob Misiorowski. We've got you covered starting at 6 p.m. with Cubs Live. I'm looking forward to watching Misiorowski live and in person. He's got some electric stuff. I'm sure Lance Brozdowski will break him down either on tomorrow's daily podcast or on a future daily podcast. I'm looking forward to getting into the nitty-gritty of what the righty does so well. But that'll do it for the Cubs Daily Podcast. I'm Andy Martinez, and as always, thanks for listening and subscribing.